Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. We are delighted to see you back with us for this week's Explore Tulsa. Stevie, do you ever do any fishing?
Well, I grew up in the Texas Gulf Coast.
So, is that a yes?
No, those saltwater fish like to bite you back, but I always did want to go out deep sea fishing for the fight that those big fish put up.
Well, in Oklahoma, you actually don't have to go out that far to take on a big catch.
I've heard of such stories with guides like Zack leading the way out in Grove, Oklahoma.
The only way to catch them is snag them. You're going to have to hit them somewhere in the side or the tail if you really want a good fight. Hopefully you hit them in the tail and they'll stretch your arms for you. I've been coming over this lake for the past 20 years. A guy named Hank Souders had a guide service on Grand Lake for years. And we got to know each other and I ended up buying a lot of the stuff from him, and he taught me how to do it and how to find them and where to find them. We start down south from the December 1st, putting in around the city ramp there in Grove, Oklahoma, and as the year progresses on and the winter comes into the spring months, we'll start coming up here to the north end of the lake there at Twin Bridges State Park and start snagging from there all the way up to Miami, Oklahoma. It's just a great place to bring the family and enjoy the fishing. There's so much different species to fish for. It holds big fish for the size of the lake it is, and it's just a great place to be. I would say the best part of hiring the guide is they've already done the legwork for you. So as far as finding the fish, staying on top of them, having all the gear, the right amount of weight to put on the weight or the line to get the hook down there and troll the right speed. You know, they've already done the legwork, so all you got to do is just climb in the boat and enjoy a heck of a day, because you're going to break a sweat ripping these things in. People enjoy the paddle fishing for the fight. To hook onto a fish of these size and these strength, you're going to have to go into the salt water. And you know, we have some of the most hardest fighting fish around right here in the middle central of the United States. They dated them back to the prehistoric time, and you know, they don't eat nothing, they don't bite on necessarily a bait. They use their paddle. They've got some sensors in the end of it to find as a radar for some microscopic zooplankton, and they just kind of filter feed. We're idling over these fish with our sonar, you know, by the bigger the arch with the more the yellow color in it, the bigger the fish. And that kind of distinguish on maybe how big it is or what way we're going with it. You know, we have our split screen on our map and our sonar. That way we can see that we're going to stay right in the river channel, because them fish congregate on the edges. And how we do it, we use a 12-aught barbless hook, because barbed hooks are against the law here in the state of Oklahoma. That way, if you catch and release, it does not tear the fish up, you know, like it would if you was to just catch and release with a barbed hook. Usually when we're out, we average a pretty solid 30-pound average on a 5-hour trip. You know, like we went out Saturday and we had a 50-pounder at the biggest and 4 other fish over 40 pounds. And the biggest one I've had come over my boat was in the upper 80s, and it was a pretty good deal because she had trouble just holding onto the rod. The fish was hooked in the tail, and there was nothing but screaming and help, 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 but nobody, you know, we just like to let them fight it on their own and go that way with it. And hopefully they don't lose a rod, but if they do, they do. That's part of it. What makes the paddlefish so famous, especially to the state of Oklahoma, is they are in high demand for the spoonbill caviar, which is the eggs. And the research center up in Miami, Oklahoma, they have the research boats out, and you know, if you have a fish and you got it tagged and you plan on keeping it, and you can tie it off the side of the boat, collection boats will come around. You just wave them down and they'll come pick your fish up for you and take it to the research center. And when you get done fishing for the day, you just drive up there, give them your little tag and your initials, and they give you your fillets right there, have ice for you, It's really a nice amenity to have, to where you don't have to get your hands dirty and they'll do all the work for you. I enjoy taking people out for the reasoning of, most of the time these are the fish they catch with me may be the biggest fish they've ever caught to date. And seeing the excitement on their face when that big 50 or 60 pound spoonbill comes up to the top and just stretches the line on them and bends the rod over and dang near pulls them in the water.